Another day, another reason to celebrate the power of words. Not just by getting their spellings right, nor just by using difficult ones. Today, we celebrate simple words backed by sheer emotion and the power that changed the world's socio-political history as we know it. Also called election campaign slogans. Hello and welcome to Classmate Spell Bee Season 12, the biggest English spelling competition in India. Presented by Classmate, co-powered by Nickelodeon Sonic and the Times of India. This is an initiative by Radio Mirchi. I'm your host, Sohali Khan, and it's going to be yet another fantastic day on Classmate Spell Bee Season 12, with a fresh batch of minds brimming with words, yearning to perform their best to be the next stellar speller. The winner shall be the bearer of Classmate Spell Bee's big, bright and shiny trophy. He or she will also get prize money of 50,000 rupees on winning the semi-finals, that is our round 3. While the national champion will receive 2 lakh rupees along with the chance to attend the prestigious Scripps National Spelling Bee 2020 with a parent in Washington, D.C., as well as the opportunity to visit the iconic White House. Opportunity and moolah await at the horizon of this glorious quest. Before we begin with the said quest, let's talk about some of the most popular, memorable, haunting, and even weird election slogans. The basic template of a political slogan requires simple words with a recall value that resonate with the larger message of the party or candidate. One example closer to home has been, Ab ki baar, Modi Sarkar. And now, let's dive into the secrets behind some specially curated political slogans over the years, from the oldest to the newest. Number 1. Don't swap horses in the middle of the stream. Abraham Lincoln, one of the more prominent figures to have fought for the abolition of slavery in America, came up with this slogan, and it is a proverb that originates from a 19th century joke. Lincoln knew he might not be the best horse to cross the treacherous waters, referring to the American governance, but also knew that the country could not afford to swap him as of then. Number 2. It's the economy, stupid. It is from Bill Clinton's 1992 election campaign. Funnily enough, it started out as just a motivational poster with the words, "The economy, stupid." Number 3, yes, we can. Barack Obama's successful campaign that made him America's first black president was led by a slogan called "Change we can believe in," to which the crowds would respond with a resounding, "Yes, we can." It was simple, it was understandable, even to those who had no clue about politics. There are way too many great copies in the political world for which just one episode of Spell Bee is not enough. Remember, kids, it's better to know your politics sooner than later. And with this, let's start the hunt for our next stellar speller. It's time for me to introduce you now to our 4 spelling champs of the day. Let's meet our first contestant. His name is Govind Sarda from St. Michael's School in Siliguri. We have Pradyumna S from AECS Magnolia Maruti Public School in Bangalore. Hi. Bhadra Panikar from Delhi Public School, Indirapuram in Ghaziabad. And finally, we have Tanya Rajendra Malsekar from Our Lady of Remedy School in Mumbai. Welcome to all of you. You're a very promising bunch of spellers today. I know you've done very well. So before we dive in any further, I'd like to quickly go over our sponsor, Classmate Philosophy. Classmate understands that each child is unique, and we encourage every child to keep this golden philosophy in mind whilst honing his or her future self. To be judged only on their merit and never anyone else's. To compete only with themselves and no one else. Classmate endeavors to help students perform better and be better through their fantastic range of stationery products such as notebooks, pens, mechanical pencils, math instruments, and art stationery. You can now also design your own notebook covers by visiting classmateshop.com. And now, let's introduce you to our 3 wonder spellers. They know it all since they've been contestants in previous seasons. They're going to be your lifelines for the competition today, and we like to call them the Classmate Connect panel. So in any round, in round 1 or round 2, if you need any help, you can't spell a word, you can ask me. I will then connect you with the Classmate panel. They'll have 30 seconds to confer and spell out the word for you. You can then choose to accept or reject that definition. And over the last several seasons, we've seen the Classmate Connect rescue many contestants. I have to warn you, though, that you must use this judiciously because you can only use your Classmate Connect option once and only in rounds 1 or 2. So contenders, are you ready? It's time to chase the spell Nobel. So before we begin, I'd like to spell out the rules of round 1 to you. I'll ask each of you to spell 4 words. The first 2 words are worth 5 points. The second 2 are worth 10 points apiece. This is, of course, a semi-final, so I have to tell you the words are very tough, but I'm sure you're up to the challenge. If you feel the need to ask me for clues, there are 4 clues, as you know, that you can ask. Those are the language of origin, usage in a sentence, part of speech, and of course, the definition of the word. These can help you to make an educated guess, and I do have to remind you that your scores from round 1 will carry over to round 2. Now, since this is a competition, we'll of course have a lot of fun, but we will have to eliminate contestants as we go along. So at the end of round 1, whoever has the lowest score on the leaderboard will have to leave the competition. In the event of a tie between 2 or more contenders, the person who has used their Classmate Connect option earlier will be eliminated. If we still have a tie, then whoever got a word wrong in the first instance will get eliminated. If we still find ourselves in the position of a tie, then we will have to have a tie-breaking round on the buzzer. Clear? All right, let's begin our quest to find our next stellar speller. And we'll start with round 1. And our first contestant, please put your hands together for Govind Sarda from St. Michael's School in Siliguri.
My favorite fiction book character is Percy Jackson because he's daring and adventurous. I want to become a software engineer when I grow up because I like designing and animating.
Hi, Govind.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Nervous? You like eating food?
Yeah.
What is your favorite cuisine?
Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
What is your favorite word?
Focaccia.
That's also an Italian word.
Yeah.
It's a?
Italian bread.
It's an Italian bread.
Yeah.
Do you know how to say good luck in Italian?
No.
No? It's buona fortuna. So can I wish you buona fortuna? Should we begin round 1 with you?
Yes.
Your first word to spell, worth 5 points, is emphases.
Definition.
Stresses given to words when speaking to indicate particular importance.
Part of speech.
A noun.
Language of origin.
Greek via Latin.
I would like to spell it as EMPHASIZE.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. You spelled out emphasize. The word that I asked to spell is emphases, as in the plural of emphasis. EMPHASES is the accurate spelling. No matter, you've only lost 5 points, and there are many points remaining in round 1 to score. The next word, also worth 5 points, is wharf.
Could I have the definition of the word?
A level area to which a ship may be moored to load and unload.
Language of origin.
German via Middle English.
I would like to spell it as WHARF.
That is absolutely correct. Well done. We move now to the second half of round 1, and here the words are worth 10 points apiece. Your third word to spell is chorale.
Could I have the definition of the word?
A stately hymn tune.
Part of speech.
A noun.
Language of origin.
Latin via German.
I would like to spell it as CHORALE.
That is correct. Well done. Your fourth word, Govind, in round 1, which could take your total to 25 points, is balladeer.
Definition of the word?
A singer or composer of ballads.
Part of speech.
A noun.
Language of origin.
Latin via French.
I would like to spell it as BALLETDEER.
I'm afraid, Govind, that's incorrect. The accurate spelling is BALLADEER, which means we cannot give you points for that. But at the end of round 1, your score stands at 15 points. Well played. And now it's time to see what our next champion is made of. Let's welcome to the podium Pradyumna from AECS Magnolia Maruti Public School in Bangalore.
I like reading Japanese comics that are also known as manga. My favorite manga is Attack on Titan. Apart from reading, I like playing computer games, 3D modeling, and writing books.
Hi, Pradyumna.
Hi.
What do you like doing apart from spelling?
Drawing, reading, 3D modeling.
3D modeling?
Yeah.
And do you play any sports?
Badminton.
Badminton?
Yeah.
I also play badminton. Perhaps we can play someday. What did you think of round 1 so far? The questions we asked.
Few words were easy, few were difficult.
I hope that the next 4 words that I hit you with are easy for you. Good luck. Your first word, worth 5 points, is faucet.
Definition?
A tap.
Language of origin?
French via Middle English.
I would like to spell it as FAUCET. G-A-U-C-E-T.
That is correct. We move swiftly to our second word in round one, and that word is jugaad.
Definition?
A flexible approach to problem solving that uses limited resources in an innovative way.
Language of origin?
Hindi.
Usage in a sentence?
He's one of those guys who uses jugaad to navigate his way around everyday life in the capital.
I would like to spell it as J-U-G-A-A-D.
And you'd be right. Well done. Have you ever used jugaad?
Yeah.
You have. We all do. You're halfway through round one, and 2 words remain. Your third word is now worth 10 points, and that word is caprice.
Definition?
A sudden and unaccountable change of mood or behavior.
Language of origin?
Italian via French.
Usage in a sentence?
You cannot possibly hope to solve the problems of inequality by taking decisions based on caprice.
C-A-P-R-I-C-E.
That is correct. If you spell this word correctly, you will have a perfect score at the end of round one. Your word to spell is sortying.
Definition?
Coming out from a defensive position to make an attack.
Part of speech?
A verb.
Usage in a sentence?
The fleet of 6 battleships was sortying from Golden Harbor to repel the attack by the destroyers.
I would like to use my Classmate Connect.
Pradyumna would like to use his Classmate Connect option. You have 30 seconds to confer and spell out sortying.
We have 2 options. We're not very sure about this, but you can spell it like S-O-R-T-I-E-I-N-G or S-O-R-T-I-N-G.
The second one.
I'm afraid you chose the wrong option. The accurate spelling is the first option, S-O-R-T-I-E-I-N-G. So that is, of course, from the French word sortie, to come out or to exit, which means we cannot give you points for that. But at the end of round one, you still have a very solid score of 20 points. Well played. Our spell masters have proven to be spelltastic. Now, you're all wondering if spelltastic is even a word, right? Well, spelltastic isn't just any other word, it's a portmanteau. A portmanteau is a word formed by merging the sounds and meanings of 2 different words as chortle from chuckle and snort. So try creating some of your own portmanteaus while we go for a short break. Hello and welcome back to Classmate Spell Bee Season 12, India's biggest spelling competition, presented by Classmate, co-powered by Nickelodeon Sonic and the Times of India. This is an initiative by Radio Mirchi. So while you were away, we thought of some regularly used portmanteau words like medical and care, Medicare, motor and hotel, motel, web and log, blog. So imagine sitting at home one day and making up your own portmanteau words. We're coming back to our quest now. We've quizzed 2 of our 4 contenders on their spelling strength, and now it's time for our 3rd contestant. So please put your hands together for Bhadra Panikar from Delhi Public School, Indirapuram, Ghaziabad.
I like history a lot because it helps us maybe learn from the past and create a future. I dream to become the Secretary General of the United Nations because no Indian or a female has ever held this post. I actually intend to break this male-dominated streak.
Hi Bhadra, how are you?
Hi, great.
So you were on the previous season of Classmate.
I was.
Have you prepared in any different manner?
I just went through more words, I guess.
And I also know that you are a published poet.
Yes, I am.
Which is incredible at this young age.
I published my own anthology of 45 poems. It's called The Solitary Blossom.
The Solitary Blossom?
Yes.
Should we begin round 1 with you?
Yes.
Your first word is ring.
Can I have the definition?
To squeeze and twist something to force liquid from it.
And usage in a sentence?
I prefer my hands to a juicer because I can wring every last drop from the fruit that way.
Language of origin?
Dutch via German via Middle English.
W-R-I-N-G. Ring.
That is correct. Your second word, also worth 5 points, is Maldivian.
Can I have the definition?
Relating to the Maldives, their inhabitants or their language.
Maldivian.
That is
Can I
correct.
have the usage in a sentence?
You may. Our Maldivian interpreter was surprisingly fluent in 5 Indian languages despite never having lived there.
Can I have the language of origin?
Sanskrit and Latin.
I would like to spell it as Maldivian.
That is correct. Your third word is now worth 10 points. That word is chuffed.
Can I have the definition?
Very pleased.
Very pleased. And the language of origin?
1950s British colloquial.
The usage in a sentence?
Jerry looks mighty chuffed about the fact that he'll be leading the march past on Sports Day.
I like to spell it as CHUFFED.
That's correct. Well done. You have 20 points to your total. And if you spell this next word correctly, you'll have a perfect score of 30 points at the end of round 1. Your word to spell for 10 points is fortissimo.
Can I have the language of origin?
Latin via Italian.
And I need the usage in a sentence.
The teenager showed his mastery of the piano by playing the second movement fortissimo with perfect control.
The meaning?
With reference to music, very loudly.
Fortissimo. Fortissimo.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. Off by just one letter. The accurate spelling is Fortissimo, not C. But still, I have to tell you, Bhadra, at the end of round 1, you have a very solid score of 20 points and you should be well chuffed. Have a seat, please. Well played. And now, last but not least, let's welcome to the podium our final contestant, Tanya Rajendra Malsekar from Our Lady of Remedy School in Mumbai.
My favorite author is Susan Collins because I like her series The Hunger Games very much. I would like to become a scientist when I grow up.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
What do you make of your competition?
Yeah, they are very good. I should try my level best.
I'm sure you will. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started? Maybe your hobbies or your favorite words?
I like dancing.
What form of dance?
Kathak.
Kathak?
Yeah.
How lovely. What is the weirdest word you've ever come across?
Otorhinolaryngology.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's the science of the ear, nose and throat. Yeah,
Oh, in
the
ENT.
yeah.
Ah, I see. Should we begin round 1?
Yeah.
Your first word in round 1, worth 5 points, is bastion.
Bastion.
That is correct.
The meaning?
A projecting part of a fortification built to allow defensive fire in many directions.
The origin?
Italian via French.
The usage in a sentence?
The regiment made a 270-degree formation on the bastion and trained their guns on the galloping raiders.
The part of speech?
A noun.
I would like to spell it as B-A-S-T-E-A-N. Bastion.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. Classmates, would you like to spell bastion?
It's bastion.
That is correct. B-A-S-T-I-O-N is the spelling we were looking for, but no matter. Only 5 points gone, many more left to be scored. We move swiftly to your second word, worth 5 points. That word is gluten.
The meaning?
A mixture of 2 proteins present in cereal grains, especially wheat.
I like to spell it as G-L-U-T-E-N.
That is correct. Well done. Your third word in round 1, Tanya, is now worth 10 points. That word is gormlessness.
The meaning?
Foolishness.
The origin?
Old Norse.
Usage in a sentence?
Ajit overcame his gormlessness at work by making detailed lists and to-do notes for everything.
I like to spell it as G-O-M-B-L-E-S-S-N-E-S-S.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. Classmates, would you like to try to spell gormlessness?
Gormlessness.
That's the accurate spelling of gormlessness. Thank you, Shrija. Which means, Tanya, we cannot give you points for that. But no matter, one word does remain. And if you spell this word correctly, you'll be tied with Govind. Your word to spell is catheter.
The meaning?
A flexible tube inserted into a body cavity for removing fluid.
The origin?
Greek via Latin.
I would like to spell it as C-A-T-H-E-T-E-R.
And you'd be right to do so. Well done, Tanya. I'm pleased to tell you at the end of round 1, you have a score of 15 points. Please have a seat. So before we tell you the final scores, we shall take a short break. The Wonder Kids have unquestionably aced their spelling syllabus. Oh, so did you know that syllabus is a ghost word? For those of you wondering what a ghost word is, a ghost word came into existence by error rather than by normal linguistic transmission, as through the mistaken reading of a manuscript, a scribal error, or a misprint. We'll now take a short break and be right back. And we're back on Classmate Spell Bee Season 12, home to the best of the spellers, presented by Classmate, co-powered by Nickelodeon Sonic and the Times of India. This is an initiative by Radio Mirchi. So before we left for a break, I told you about the term syllabus being a ghost word. A Roman philosopher, Cicero, who died in 43 BC, wrote 2 letters to Atticus, and they contained the word syllabus, which was a Greek word meaning a label for a papyrus roll. However, it's suspected that one of the printings of this word was misspelled as syllabus. The spelling stuck, and so it began to also mean a label for a papyrus roll. And now, back to the competition. As of now, our 4 spell gurus have delivered their best in round 1 of today's competition, and now it's time for the scores. In first place, we have a tie between Pradyumna and Bhadra, 20 points apiece, so they do go through to round 2. Congratulations. But who will join them? We need to decide the third contender between Govind and Tanya. They're both tied at 50 points apiece in second place, but they didn't use the Classmate Connect option, and they both made the same mistake. So you misspelled the word at the same point in the competition, which means we're going to have a tie-breaking round on the buzzer. Let me explain the rules of the tiebreaker to you. I will be giving you the part of speech of the word, the language of origin, and the definition of the word. I will then say the word that you have to spell. The person who presses the buzzer first will get an opportunity to answer. If you spell the word correctly, you go through. If you misspell it, then you get another opportunity to spell. But if you make 2 mistakes, that means you're out of the competition. Are the rules clear? So let's begin the tie-breaking buzzer round, and let's invite our 2 contestants to the podium. Are you ready? I'll tell you the clues first. The word is of French origin. It is a noun, and it means a system of government with decisions made by state officials rather than politicians. Your word to spell is bureaucracy. And the buzzer was pressed first by Tanya.
So it's B-U-R-E-A-U-C-R-A-C-Y.
That is correct, which means we do have a result. Very well done, Tanya. I'm afraid, Govind, that means that we do have to say goodbye to you. It is the end of the competition for you. But thank you so much for playing with us. You've done very well to make it to this point. Please give him a huge round of applause, and please have a seat in the audience. Thank you so much. And now we have our lucky 3. Congratulations to all of you. You all are through to round 2. Please give yourselves a huge round of applause. Very well done. And to you, yes, you, who are glued to the screen. Before you leave, here's a book recommendation. This week's book is The Old Man and the Sea. Using only 27,000 words, Ernest Hemingway's shortest novel depicts the classic struggle of an old Cuban fisherman who hasn't caught a fish in 84 days. With courage and determination, the elderly man goes out on his small boat one more time. Although simple in its telling, The Old Man and the Sea is a story of never giving up and living life to the fullest. The excitement to find out the spell warrior that will survive is at its peak, so you better tune in tomorrow. This is Sohali Khan signing off from Classmates Spell Bee Season 12, presented by Classmate, co-powered by Nickelodeon, Sonic and The Times of India. This is an initiative by Radio Mirchi. And until tomorrow, adios, amigos.